Hey guys, welcome to part 5 of designing this client site, and today we're going to be working with attributes. So these are pretty exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the attributes, show you what they are, how they work. This is also something that finsweet has made, and these are just amazing if you want to create some really awesome filtering and JavaScript things you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. You're going to have to manually code. So we're doing this really just to spice things up a little bit with the site and just add a little bit better functionality, a little bit better or a little bit more seamless functionality with filtering through projects, finding inspiration, stuff like that. In the last versions of the series, you started on pretty much designing the site and then walking through those phases, then building it, developing it in Webflow. And now we're adding a little bit of spice to here. So I'm going to jump straight into essentially the computer here. Take a look at that. All right, guys, so we're going to jump right into attributes here, and finsweet has their site here, finsweet.com/attributes. I can link that down here below. Now, if you've ever been working on a project where you're wanting to do some really nice seamless filtering, this is what you'd want to use. So I know there's another something else called JetBoost, which is really about the same amount of work. That one just you pay for. This one's free. And neither one is wrong. It's just whatever you decide to do, essentially. So this makes Webflow CMS even better, in my opinion. All right, so we go here, and essentially what attributes is they are using essentially an attribute with the IDs for any element. And I'll show you this stuff inside of Webflow, show you what that means, what it does a little bit later. But it's really easy here. I mean, they got a nice little site. Yay, confetti. And they kind of show you simple logic, how it's working. And there's just so much you can do. It's pretty awesome. But I'll let you read a little bit more of that yourself. So for now, I'm actually going to go to the directory and look at what I want to do. There's a bunch of stuff in here. So automatically play videos. They got some new ones here, which I haven't even seen. So maybe I can use these. We're going to be doing CMS filters, right? So filter and sort. And so we're going to go look inside the documents here and look at everything that we need to do. So they do provide a video, if I'm not mistaken, a tutorial, which is pretty good as well. They do a lot in there. And essentially I'm making a tutorial along with going with this project as well. So step number 1, copy the script. And the step number 2 is essentially do all this stuff here, which I'm going to do with you. Okay. I'm going to do just on my use case. I'm not going to start getting into all the other parts there. Their video does a good job of like doing a bunch of stuff. But here's just another version if you want to see what that does. So on step 1, like I said, we're going to copy the script. All right. So we're going to go into our Webflow project. And I do have this here as well. And that's why I have this form field here. Like you see, we left off on that last time because we're going to need this form. All right. And so the filters need to be inside of a form block. And you can do typing here. You can do buttons, whatever you want to do. Those all need to be inside of a form block. All right. And they won't work unless they're inside of a form block. And then you have the field identifiers, which I'll show you there as well. Okay. So I did set up my form block in here. Now I have not named it. So being client first, I do want to name this. So here I want to name this our filtering, or let's do project filtering underscore component, because everything under there is going to be essentially the component for that. So project filtering. Oh, crap. Okay. And then we're going to have these other parts, which you probably won't ever see. Okay. So now what we're going to do is essentially set up our form. All right. And we have these field labels. I'm not going to be doing any typing filtering. So I'm going to delete my input fields for now. If you're going to do typing filtering, you want to keep these in here. And that's pretty easy to do. So what we're going to do is actually get rid of these here. All right. Okay, so this is editor Josiah here. So I realized I didn't explain why I did this phase the way I did. So first of all, I did it wrong right here, but I corrected myself a little bit later. I used buttons. I should have used radio elements instead. Buttons aren't supported, but I corrected a little bit further. However, I had to nest another collection list in there because I use multi-reference fields in order to link the different categories to the projects, since there are multiple categories per project. So that's why I did that. Continue watching. I correct myself a little bit later. Yep, I sure can. Let's do this instead, guys. Project filtering wrap. Okay. So filtering collection, and then we're gonna need to name this our categories. All right. And now I actually want to change this. So our collection item is going to be project filtering filter. Okay, put that in each button here. Let's get rid of this. All right. Now I can style this and have a little more control. That's the nice part. So my collection list is, I don't know if I can style this one here. Let me try that. I cannot. All right. Okay, project filtering list. Okay, again, so what I'm doing is I'm making my filters essentially to go ahead and do this inside of Webflow to filter these dynamically. Alrighty. So what I want to do here now is go ahead and make these all button. Okay, not that one here. That's not the one I wanted to do. This one is going to be done here. Great. So these are all done here. And these are all still following my margins I built earlier. So you can see everything is still working as planned. Okay. So now all I want to do is just get the text from each name, each category. There you go. So anytime we add more filters, they should come in here. Great. So now back to our step one here. Well, I went out of order. I'm sorry about that. So all we need to do is add this script. So copy this. And then what you're going to want to do is go to your page settings. Down here in your heading code, right? If I'm mistaken, yes, in the head of your page, you paste that in here. And then you hit save. And you are almost done. So now you need to essentially go through your whatever you want to filter in here. Okay. So what we're going to do is first set up our list. This is what we want to filter. And so you have your CMS element, filters FS CMS element. You want to copy that. All right. Now what we're going to do is go through. This is what we want to filter. We're going to go to settings, and then we're going to do custom div attributes. We're going to do that here. Okay. So we're going to put an attribute there. And then the value here is going to be list. Copy that, paste that here, and hit save. All right. So now this is telling the code, the JavaScript, that is the list. Great. So now we have that done. So now we want to set up our filters. All right. And so you want to set this form block to be the filters. So you're now going to grab this. You're going to go to the form block, which is up here. So my form block, my settings, form. You're going to grab this, and then you're going to do filters. I spelled it wrong. So you only use one form. All right. And so now you need to do a field identifier. Okay, so you're not going to copy this identifier. It's telling you that this is going to be an identifier, and it kind of breaks that down here. All right. So now you're this is how you filter UI elements to communicate Webflow lists to CMS. All right. So what we want to do is go ahead and get our first one down here. So I don't have, right, this is gonna be the name, but if we go ahead and for now, just do a text block. Okay, so what I want to do here is actually name this text size large and then text size small. Oops, I did not click it, text size small. Now I want this to get the category. Oh, I don't have that actually, because this needs to be nested. So similar to, double check this here. How did I do this? So each project settings does, okay, it's a multi-reference category. All right. So this needs to be done slightly different if you're in the scenario like I am here. Okay. So what we want to do actually is go ahead and do a collection list. Collection list. Okay. So what we're going to want to do here is do our categories, our multi-reference. All right. Now, this is going to be under the same component. So these are all going to be gallery 5 component. I'm going to keep with this. So gallery 5. Let's see, categories. Okay, so list, and then we have each individual item in here. And so now we're going to have each collection item be gallery 5. Okay, so each one's a category now. And honestly, I kind of want to rock this button in here myself. But, no, not really. Okay. So let's make a new one in here. So we're going to do a text block. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a div block. We're going to do a div block. This is going to be gallery 5. Item. Okay. And then we're going to put some text in here. All right, so text block. Boom. And then I'm going to do this text align text size small. Okay. Get rid of this one. Great. So this is almost complete. Again, I need to get my name from that. Great. And now what I need to do is make this look the way I want. So I did a flex grid last time. I'm going to stick with that. So in each category item, I'm going to give everything a 0.5 rems. Okay. Just, it's going to be small. 0.5 rem. And again, 0.5 rem. Make that even smaller. 0.5 rem. Yeah, a little too big. So let's do 0.25 rem. Essentially 4 pixels. Great. So there's each one here. Now what I'm going to do is also give these just a margin of 0.25 rem as well. In each direction, 0.25 rem. All right, so now we have the item stylized here. Okay, so my text color, I actually would prefer that white, and my background color is actually going to be this green here. Perfect. So now you can see this here, but you know what? I'm actually not liking the padding on the, or margin on the left here. So let's reset that. But that should work fine. It looks like there is also Could just be my eyes playing tricks on me. I think it is. So now we have each one here. Okay, so that's the only one that has essentially something linked to it, which is fine for now. So now we have essentially what our filter is, and we're gonna have the item here. All right. Now we need our identifier. So you're gonna do CMS field, and it's showing you what to do here as well. So this one is going to be an identifier here, and they got to match with the next one there. So we're going to grab one of these. We're going to go to your settings, your attributes again. You're going to put in the field, and you're going to put in the identifier. Now my identifier is going to be style. All right. And I also want to do this as well. So CMS field and then do style. Great. So now we have that in here. And really that should be it. All right. So let's try that out and let's make sure I did this right, because I might not be able to do buttons, but I can fix that really quick. So this needs to be published in order to test. So let's go ahead and test it. All right. So it does need to have, I don't know if buttons will work. So that is fine. So let's go ahead and change these. I do like the styling, but unfortunately, it cannot work, my friend. So we need to do a new plan. All right. So what we need to do is do a radio button. Great. Okay. I actually don't need the dot here, I believe. So checkbox label, radio label, select, or text input field. All right. Oops. Okay, well, I can't get rid of that. So let's make that is hidden. Right. And this guy, that has a padding of 20. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's make this our one rem. And one rem. But you know what? I didn't even. How dare I? So project filtering button. Great. Kept the same styles here. Okay. And then do button small. Let me make sure, because I did ruin that. I sure did. You got to be careful with these combo classes. So project filtering button. Since that is my button, I want that to be my one rem. Got a spam call. So, damn you spammers. Okay, so back to our styling here. So what I want to do is reset that. That way it keeps it. There you go. So now that is set on my, essentially my styling here. And I kind of hacked it. I'm being lazy. I just put the button small back on it, but that'll do. Now I want to grab my text again from the name, and there we go. So let's try this again. Let's go ahead and do the radio here. So they did it because they're using a radio. So they grabbed the actual text, the radio label. And that's what we're going to do here as well. We're going to grab this, go ahead and do our attributes. We're going to paste that, and then we're going to do style again. Let's republish, and let's see how it does. And now we wait to publish. I hate when this happens. Let's refresh my page here. Did I do this correct? I sure did. All right, so now we can see how this is working. So if I click on transitional, anything with transitional will come up. Farmhouse, anything with farmhouse can come up. Modern, there you go. And now we can have our dynamic filtering. You notice the page does not reload at all. So yay for attributes. Okay, now we can get a little bit more dynamic on this if you'd like. You can also do clear. You can do, stack multiple searches. You can do a bunch of stuff here. Now, these should always have a category, so I should really make these required. So I'm going to go to our projects and I go to my settings here, categories. It is required, but just because it was generated beforehand. Oh, that's required. There you go. Save field. That was required. Save collection. So now we need to, anytime we make a new one, it needs to have categories. And so that shouldn't be there. But okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this fairly quick video of overviewing attributes. So check it out. Go ahead and try attributes on your own site, your own projects. Go happy with it. And yeah, honestly, I like to use these whenever I can. It's, they're just easy to use, and it just adds a little bit of extra spice to your site and just sets you apart a little bit. And all you had to do was write some IDs. So, okay, we're going to continue on with this project and see y'all in the next one.